So go back to this comment and thank you for your comment. Yeah, our kids are we are their safe spaces, right? And so, an article came up recently, and I've seen it over floating around, this theory that our children behave better with others than they do with us because we are their safe spaces, right? And so there's an article recently in the Business Insider, and I'll put it somewhere here so you can read the headline. But it says, "I'm a family therapist and my kids still have meltdowns." But the part of the article that really struck me, that kind of names exactly what this phenomenon is that it says, Dr. Becky often says, kids aren't giving us a hard time, they're having a hard time. And that is so true in so many ways. I think we're still so um, not recognizing that COVID and the pandemic and all of these things shifted our brain chemistry and how we think of what is safe, right? And I think the class of 2029 college kids are the first children who are going to college without any portion of the pandemic really kind of restrictions, if I may say it that way. We started high school in 2021, and she was still masking. We still had that. We were in person, but there were still some restrictions. Now that we are kind of fully beyond that scale and that scope of how our brains had to reorientate ourselves about what is safe, where am I safe, who is safe, what is safe. Our children are having a really difficult time, or some of our children are having a really difficult time emotionally, mentally, physically, right? And I think we're not doing enough talking about the lingering after effects of what it looks like to shut a whole world down and try to keep each other safe, right? And so I say that to say, it was brought to me once by my troop leader, when we were still doing Girl Scouts. She was like, "These girls are just scared," and I said, "No, no, 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 no. They're not scared to explore. They've been told that exploring is unsafe." And now we have to retrain their brain that going out beyond, into new territory, into new places, into new spaces, into new functions and seasons of life is not intended to, it is scary, but it is not intended to shut us down, keep us from moving forward, and shut down progress. I think the thing that I am learning in this season is that our teenagers, our children, our adolescents who moved in through all of these different seasons of what it means to have restrictions, are now having to learn how to use free will. And that's difficult for even some grown adults. And so we have to give them grace and space, and the ability to, yes, be sometimes out of pocket with their behavior, because truthfully and honestly, it is the safest place that they can show their emotions without tons of huge life altering consequences. I hope that helps.